Hey guys, Road Warrior back here. Again, I recently took another first place here in Bream hunt on Fishing Planet. I want to walk you through a guides and tips video there. As you can see, I beat some pretty stiff competition with a great score on a Sunny Peak 625. I've also won it a couple times and podiumed a couple times, Sunny Peak and the Cloudy Peak. I will show you the mixes, setups, that sort of thing. Uh, this is similar to my barbel setup, other than I'm not going to use spawn sack. I'll use either castor maggots or yellow maggots. Hook number 4, number 6, kind of up to you, but there's the setups. Those are actually deluxe and golden setups. Now, the first one was actually a spod reel for faster. This is more of a balanced setup where you won't take damage. You can still max drag, and I'll show you why I do a speed setup. And that's just what that looks like in a generic form if you wanted a balance setup for this. Sometimes you need to walk before you run, and I'll kind of go through a lot of stuff in this video to help you guys out here on Fishing Planet's Dream Bream competition. As far as the mix is used here in the spot, this is a similar mix to Krellick, the OG, and big thanks to him. It's also the spot will be, I think, pretty sure Big Legit had found that, and Krellick had put up a little tips and tricks on this a long time ago. So special thanks to Krellick on that and Big Legit. Now here's my very own cloudy day mix. So if you find yourself struggling on a cloudy day, it could be night and day difference. I'm not saying that sunny mix won't work for you, but this cloudy mix is usually what I use. I put in Catfish Destroyer, that sort of thing. I also show the setups and the mixes in metric here coming up, as well as the spot before I go through the actual run. Okay, here's the setups in metric in the event that you needed to look at these in metric for whatever reason. Again, that's just a skinned version of the Big Ollie, which is a spod reel, Griffin Spod 8000. It's just built for speed. Now, you will do some raw damage. I'll explain that coming up. Now, here's these mixes in metric for all my metric friends. Feel free to pause that and get those as well. And here's my Bream Cloudy mix, the Cloudy Day mix. Just swapping out aromas as well as putting in Catfish Destroyer at a different percentage does seem to help. You will miss on an occasional wells, but not very often, depending on your RNG and kind of what your overall fish drop is. Now for the actual spot, you're going to spawn here at Stillwater Village. You're going to want to walk all the way around over there, so you do have a little bit of walk time. Again, special thanks to Big Legit there, I think, who had found this spot a long, long time ago. I think he used to play with Krellick when Krellick was still playing competitions. There's the mark. There's the stand mark if you actually need it. There's other spots on this map. Obviously, it's an enormous map. Now, event that you don't know how to go over to your settings, if you wanted to change to metric to imperial, in the event you did not know how to do that, I wanted to put that up, as well as upcoming video I'm going to be working on is how to try to reset your RNG, whether you're in free mode or in competitions, whether changing languages or metric to imperial. I'm going to put that up. In the event some of these guys that get stuck on dead bite rates, that sort of thing, where your overall game glitched out, but that'll be an entire video in itself that I'll have to do. Okay, also you'll notice that it'll just redirect you if you happen to switch, and I'm just kind of showing you that out. It'll bring you right back into the game, and it will show you that you've changed from either metric or imperial. In the event that you guys did not know how to do that and you were watching this and you're just working your way through, those are in the settings tab. As you can see, it's changed everything from a metric to imperial or vice versa. Now for the overall comp, again, there at the Stillwater Village, just kind of showing you I did spawn in there. In the event that you've never played in this before, walking all the way around, as I mentioned previously. Now, here's a weird part on this I've noticed. You can spot out 10 times this mix, 12 times, 6 times, 8 times, all up to you. So I've kind of narrowed it down for me. Most of the time, I'll do 10 spod cast, and then I'll do 5 and then 5 again in a 30-minute period. Also, make sure that you're clipping your line. For you guys that know how you clip your line, make sure you practice that as well. You'll see that that will change from 57 feet where I had it clipped. I'll let you know. Also, look at the speed of this, and this is kind of the way I set this up. Notice, too, that is 3 clicked on the reel, but again, just watching there. Again, even on your blockers, it does help you out. Again, 3 clicks. Now, be careful there. The rod itself will take the brunt on 3 click. If you go 4 click, your line will actually take the brunt, so you don't want to do that. Again, this is something you want to practice. There's nothing wrong with running whatever setup you want, but for me, I'm looking for speed. Even on the bigger fish, smaller fish, that sort of thing, it does help you out. So those crucial seconds, 4 or 5 seconds can make the difference. Also, learn to budget your reels or your rod there, your percentages. Make sure you're paying attention to that, again, that brunt of that. So you're kind of wanting to reel and pump, so to speak. That way you're not just shredding your entire rod there on one fish. So kind of pay attention there. I'm actually bouncing that for a reason, trying to watch that stress meter on the rod again. If you're not comfortable doing that, you have no problem trying a different setup. Again, experiment with the setups on your own. I'm just kind of showing you what a winning run looks like. I have won this several times, as well as podiumed in it several times. I'm just trying to help you guys out and give you a very thorough guide. As you can see, I'm taking reel percentage down there, but make sure you budget. Doesn't hurt to have an extra rod with you. I have broke, again, the same setup for my barbel guide that I put up. Just an aggressive, it's kind of a speed setup again, so to speak. But again, experiment with all these things on your own. As well as, too, you'll notice that you can budget these things wisely and still, gain a lot of ground. But you can just see here, learn how to time that. You will do a lot of damage if you're not careful. I haven't actually broke a rod, and I'm sure some of you guys will as well. And also paying attention there, I've casted out 10 to start. Now I'm approaching that 18-minute mark, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to spot out another 5 here, just at the very same mix mix onto the spod canister itself. So I've budgeted myself knowing I'm going to be able to throw out 5 here. Now you might want to do 12, 6, and 6, or 8, 4, and 4. Entirely up to you. The ratios at which can vary. Also that you'll notice, again, that's just paying attention to make sure. Don't set that hook too early. Make sure that your line does change there. And you will notice that that's in real time. Just wanting to play that out. That was actually unique. That came in fairly quick. If you can get those things swimming at you, again, time is money. Also, on a side note, you'll notice here, this is something that I've been studying for a long time. Even though me and Ro are in here catching plenty of uniques, poor Sharkbite is just not having a good time at all in the same room, that sort of thing. And I think something in the game as well, your RNG might just be glitched out, even in free mode and competitions. And if that's the case, I'm going to put another video up at some point to kind of show you guys, at least, attempt to reset your RNG. No fun at all when everybody in the room's catching fish but you. And I've experienced that very same thing myself, as you can see here, Sharkbite is really frustrated. He's got the nice spot, a nice recipe, and the setup question mark. He's just not having a good time. Poor Reduce, trying to point out that maybe it's your mix, that sort of thing. But, ultimately, sometimes you're just going to have really bad luck. But again, I think there's something else, whether, you're getting either a nerf or your game is, maybe you're losing connection to the server somehow and you're just not getting a fish spawn. And that is no fun at all. And I wanted to briefly touch on that there for him. I do feel your frustration there, Sharkbite. Unfortunately, I'm having a really good run myself, and even though I'm enjoying myself, I don't like it when somebody else is not catching fish that they know how to catch. That is very, very frustrating, even though I'm doing good. I am a good sport. I don't wish that upon anybody. Nobody likes to be dead-legged when you're playing a game in regards to wanting to catch fish. That's why we play the game. We enjoy catching the fish. We enjoy competing. Again, that'll be a whole nother video for itself. But again, I just wanted to show you guys here how to do the Bream run itself. But again, it's just going through here, catching plenty of Bream as this cycles out. Again, paying attention to everything that I mentioned previously. Budget your reel percent or your rod percentages. Make sure that you're paying attention to that. Again, just a speed thing here. And you'll also notice on the ratios, whether you want to do 10 spods or not, make sure that you're paying attention to your clock. For me, I spotted out 10 to start, took it down to around 18 minutes left, and I know that's been about 9 minutes on only 5 spods following along. So I just take that off because there was just a tiny bit remaining. Go ahead and mix up at this position. Even though you're going to waste the remainder of it, I'm just going to throw out 5, because sometimes I've found in this, if you throw out too much, man, it seems to promote the blockers. By blockers, I mean the goby, the Prussian, the regular carp. Heck, one time over here, I caught a big head carp randomly. I don't know if I had yellow maggots on or something else, but yes, I caught a big head carp over here, spotting in Bream. So sometimes this game can be really, really cruel. You might get catfish, that sort of thing, depending on what your mixes are. Keep those things in mind as you are trying to participate in this. But again, one big emphasis is figure out your ratios. I do prefer to have a sunny day mix and a cloudy day mix as those peaks vary. Also, make sure that you try out some hook sizes for yourself. You might like number 4s or number 6s. Test those out for yourself. If it seems a little slow, maybe go, up in hook size or down in hook size a little bit. Number 6, also watch here. Captain Moron alert. I do not have snag warnings on. Make sure that you're paying for the icon. This could have cost me dearly. As I sit here, I'm thinking, why am I not getting a bite? That also make sure that you're not snagged. If you don't have the snag warnings on, I like to do that myself to test myself. This is a perfect example. I sit here and I'm letting this play out. Look, my rod's not there. I'm snagged. See, I was in the grass. So do pay attention to that as you play this. If you don't have the snag warnings on, I was sitting in a weed, some weedy grass or something, even though I didn't pull anything in. As my bobber hits there, make sure you're paying for that icon. You'll see your icon up there towards the top, and that's kind of what you're wanting to focus on, is make sure that that rod icon is up there below your bait. Now, just kind of closing in here to the end of this video, just kind of rapid fire here. I didn't want to stretch this out any longer than needed to, but just kind of showing you the effectiveness again, reiterating all of this. Watch how quick all these come in at the end as I work my way up to the leaderboard. Kind of paying attention to the clock here as it's ticking down, just even showing you the blockers that I was getting as well. But again, speed does help you. Timing your mixes out helps you as well. Just kind of showing you here. And closing right at the very end here, it's not a ginormous fish, but every little point does help you in these sort of things, especially if you're having a good paced potential podium run like this one is. Again, this is why I prefer a speed setup in the event you needed, the last 5 to 8 points, especially in any of these feeder competitions. It does help to have a speed setup and to know how to use it. Again, walk before you run, test these things out. If you do like the video, please make sure you leave a thumbs up as well as subscribe. I will see you guys again in the next one, and that is Dream Bream Hunt. Take care, guys.